What would you rather have? An RV or a cottage?
Neither.
Really?
Can I borrow your RV or your cottage?
I don't have an RV or a cottage.
I will rent either of those things.
I would rather have an RV. A small RV, but it has to have AC.
What are you going to do with your RV? You
would love it. You would go traveling. It's almost like my dream of having a tractor trailer when we retire. Tractor trailer and going cross country, making money, but touring as well.
Can we leave tomorrow and drive to BC?
Yeah. We'll have to have a Wi-Fi thingy. Anyway, what would you rather have? An RV or a cottage? Do you think people that have cottages have RVs? Or is it like one or the other?
I don't know why you need both.
I don't know. Maybe you do.
Here's the thing. I don't need more work.
Yeah. They're all work.
Don't.
You know, my pastor said
lazy.
The stuff won't kill you. It's the maintenance that will kill you. What you gain, you must maintain. Hashtag Pastor Andy.
I'm really proud of myself for having like one morning set aside a couple of hours to clean at this house. You don't actually get a lot done in a couple of hours. So like the rest of the time I just kind of spot clean.
Cleaners.
Like, oh look, this is dirty. Let's quick wipe it down.
I could give you some pointers because it is my favorite.
No, because cleaning is your favorite thing. I feel like you're not doing your favorite things very often, by the way.
No,
you could do it more often.
I like to space
your
it
favorite
out.
Things.
I like to
What's your favorite day of the week? Why didn't you answer
that?
that?
Like cleaning little things often. No, do I have a favorite day? I feel like I
Stop lying.
I cleaned the dish rack today.
Oh, you tidy all the time.
Oh,
you tidy
it's my
nonstop. Yes. What's your favorite day of the week? Why did you ask me that?
Oh, I like your answer. I feel like I live that as well.
What's your favorite day of the week?
I don't know. They're all my favorite. I like Tuesday.
Why?
Because it's more of a learning day. Like I use it as a more of a Sabbathy learning day, but I do more of what I want because sometimes Thursday, Friday can be busy. Saturday is what it is, and then Sunday is church and speaking, really, and then Monday is meeting and study. And anyway,
it's not that I'm not interested in your answer, but it's not as concise as I would have liked.
All right. We did step 8 yesterday. I can only imagine we're doing step 9, but we're not.
We're not.
This is drawn out. Willing, because step 8 was about, I made a list of people to make amends to as I saw my own spiritual sickness and how my addiction has hurt the world around me. And I become willing.
Yep.
That's all you got to do is become willing.
Mm-hmm.
Where the heart goes, where the thinking goes, the actions will follow. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. All right. August 25th.
I feel like that was like a lead into something.
I haven't read this. All right, here we go. Willing to make amends. August 25th. The 8th step is taking charge of heart. Oh, the 8th step is talking about a change of heart, a healing change. This attitude can begin a great chain of repair and healing in our relationships with others and ourselves. It means we become willing to let go of our hard-heartedness, one of the greatest blocks to our ability to give and receive love. In the 8th step, we make a list of all people we have harmed, and we allow ourselves to experience a healing attitude toward them. It is an attitude of love. We do not, in this step, dash madly about and begin yelling, "Sorry!" We make our list not to feel guilty, but to facilitate healing. Before we actually make amends or begin to consider appropriate amends, we allow ourselves to change our attitude. This is where healing begins within us. It can change the energy. It can change the dynamics. It can begin the process before we ever open our mouths and say sorry. It opens the door to love. It opens the door to the energy of love and healing. It enables us to release negative feelings and energy and opens the door to positive feelings and energy. That energy can be felt around the world, and it starts inside of us. How often we have, after we've been hurt, how often have we, well,
Yep.
how often have we, after we've been hurt, wished that that person would simply recognize our pain and say, "I'm sorry"? How often have we wished that person would simply see us, hear us, and turn the energy of love our way? How often have we longed for at least a change of heart, a small dose of reconciliation in relationships tainted by unfinished business and bad feelings? Often enough.
Mm-hmm.
Others do too. It's no secret. The energy of healing begins within us. Our willingness to make amends may or may not benefit the other person. He or she may or may not be willing to put matters to rest. We become healed. We become capable of love. Prayer for today. Today I will work on a change of heart. If hardness, defensiveness, guilt, or bitterness are present, I will become willing to let go of those feelings and have them replaced by the healing energy of love. Amen.
Do you think that somebody who's not working the steps, how would they apply this to their life?
A lot of people, I believe, feel feel the hurt towards other people, and they either hold it, but we can only have so much capacity, so then they puke on people, and it makes them feel better, but it doesn't make the other person feel better. And the one thing I don't necessarily like is the word energy, because I like the word power, because it's not what I can do, it's what the power of love of God can give me. So it's not this universal energy type thing for me, and that's kind of what I hear. I don't think that's what she's saying, but I think it's when I clear this baggage of hurt and harms to people, I owe you something. So when I give that back to you, I actually release the bondage within myself so that I can have the energy or the power of God in my life. So I only have so much capacity. That cup only has so much capacity. So when I take the garbage out of it, it allows for the love of God to be in it. Which in turn, amends is actually making me, it's actually part of my recovery to make me full of God's love more than my spirit. And so I'm exchanging spirits. So I'm not doing it I'm doing it for God's benefit because he's asked me to, and so that I can be a useful tool in his collection.
So if I have this mug that I poured
Dirty coffee
into, and that coffee was full of coffee grinds, they would just settle, they would get all mixed in, and I would have less good coffee to drink. I would have like sludge. And there's not a lot of room for good coffee if it's full of sludge. Becoming willing, and I think
it's a good analogy. It's gonna get me thinking.
So I just was thinking about this because I'm doing the steps, but I've been around recovery for like 16, 17 years, and I've only kind of sort of done the steps. Like I've done them ish. I did them a couple different times. But I don't know that I was really like rigorous or thorough or really understood why I needed to do them. It was only like after my job ended and I realized that I was really, really anxious and had like trouble sleeping and had trouble like resting my mind, even though there was literally nothing that I needed to be anxious about. And so, which I know you know, but I'm just saying and so realizing that I can't quiet this by myself, like I can't. And so I was listening to a podcast today, and he was saying that the number one symptom of untreated alcoholism, and when I think about alcoholism now, I think about like spiritual sickness. So the number one symptom of spiritual sickness, which for me, my spiritual sickness is my thinking, and overthinking is depression. And then I realized like depression and anxiety really go hand in hand. And so I was just thinking like, oh yeah, that's, and he said it's not always like every depression isn't untreated alcoholism, and for me it wasn't alcoholism because alcohol didn't bring me ease and comfort. So I was restless, irritable, and discontent, but I did not get my ease and comfort from alcohol. My ease and comfort came from trying to control everything around me and fix everything around me that felt out of control, even though it wasn't. And so I just realized, wow, that was a long tangent for no reason. I'm sorry.
No, beautiful.
My point was that
I feel like you're a ballerina dancing.
My point was that there's not a lot of people actually working the steps. And so I don't think if you have a lot of conflict in your life that you just go like, okay, I need to start. I like how she said that. You don't just like run around and start yelling, sorry, I'm so sorry. You know, especially once like when things crop up and I realize like, oh, I actually have some like hard feelings towards, you know, this thing that happened 10 years ago or this person that I haven't seen in 5 years. Like I'm not going to start contacting people and apologizing to them.
I think this is very important to work with a sponsor, but this part is just a heart. Like, God changed my heart. Like, right. I think we don't pray for ourselves enough because this is what I can't do for myself. This is what I need God to do is like, help me be willing, help me exchange this for what you have. And I think that people don't take this seriously. I think number one is because they don't understand step one. They don't really know what the problem is. Right. So if you don't know what your problem is, then you're not going to apply the solution properly because, you know, the experience that Jesus promises, the only experience that he promises is carrying your cross. That's your experience. And so I don't think people are willing to do that because they don't know what the problem is. The problem is I need to die of myself because of myself, I am nothing. So I actually have to die of myself. So if I don't understand what my problem is, then I'm not going to apply the solution.
And so for me, the evidence that I saw in my life, the symptom that I saw in my life, one of the big ones was defensiveness. And I, like for the last long time, long time, but especially like the last year, over a year, like a full 12 months, I would say, because we've been spending more and more time together, has been defensiveness and just like realizing like, why am I so defensive? Like
an obsession of mine.
Yeah, like, but defensiveness was evidence. Like that was like a symptom that I saw in my life of like, I'm defending myself. Why am I defending? Why do I always feel attacked? What's happening?
Like, you can't walk around with crooked strings.
Oh, sorry. I can't. So I just was like, I realized like, why do I always feel attacked? Why do I always feel like I'm doing something wrong or that I am wrong or all these things? And then also like, I like how she's saying like, today I will work on a change of heart if hard-heartedness, defensiveness, guilt, or bitterness are present. And I think that's like an amazing
symptoms of
first question to be asking myself is like, is hard-heartedness, defensiveness, guilt, or bitterness, are they present in my life? Is there conflict in my life? Where do I have conflict? Am I having conflict at work? Am I having conflict in my family? Because it was easy to dismiss. I still catch myself dismissing, I'm not that bad. Like, I'm really not that bad. Like, really, I'm fine. Like, it's just little blips. But for me, I just realized,
and like, that's what every alcoholic says too. I'm not like that guy.
I'm not that bad. I'm not like that.
Like
guy.
I still work and I have a car.
Right. And so for me, I just realized like I don't actually want any conflict. I don't, and I especially what I don't want is consistent conflict. So for me, I realized I'm having this kind of conflict more than once. If this issue is coming up in our marriage, in friendships, insecurity, like I'm seeing insecurity at work, I'm seeing insecurity at home, I'm seeing insecurity in friendships. I don't want that anymore. So it's not
because it produces chaos, which produces adrenaline.
Right.
Which is what?
Yes. And so I just realized, like, I actually need to do something. Stop comparing myself to, like, other people who are worse off. And just do something
we like
different.
to do that. At least I'm not living at the mission.
Right? Why do we always compare ourselves to people
I don't
that
need...
are
And I
worse
think
off?
even, like, I've said that even about my fitness, my
Yes.
physical fitness. If I gain this amount of weight, then I'll do something about it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Why would I wait?
I sound like the crackhead that still has a job and a car that his wife
Right.
pays for and room and board that his wife pays for.
And I actually said that about you. Like, when John, he's doing this or whatever. And I was like, in 2 more years, if he's still doing the same thing, that's it.
Years.
I'm done. And when I look back, I'm like, why would I wait 2 more years?
Yeah. Well, because you need me.
I did.
That's the truth. All right. The problem is that we become addicted. We have, not everybody has this, so this is what makes the problem. The problem is that, number one, we have the obsession of mind, that we continue to overthink, but then think that it wasn't that bad and I can use this for ease and comfort, like alcohol. And then I have an adverse reaction to it, which produces a craving for more. And underneath, I'm irritable, restless, and discontent. It's a spiritual sickness. So then that becomes my solution, and that's what I go to. And so the same as the codependent, or food, or sex, or whatever. It's not
Netflix.
about the action, it's about what it does in your brain.
Calming.
And so you're addicted to adrenaline that's produced. You have an abnormal reaction to craving more of it, which scares the crap out of me. $5 shots of adrenaline for sale.
Chaos creating,
controlling,
fixing, obsessing.
Yeah, which produces that in you. Anyway, good stuff. Maybe step 9 tomorrow. Who knows? All right. Peace out. Have a great Tuesday. We're on Tuesday. One of your favorite days. One of the 7.
It used to be my Turbo Tuesday at work. I would get so much done on Tuesday.